Sure, why not?
Hey guys, welcome back to Gaming Legends. Today we're talking about the original Pokémon Red and Blue.
Pokémon Red and Blue was developed by Game Freaks and released in 1996 for the original Game Boy. Originally called Pocket Monsters Red, Blue and Green, in 1998 the US were the first to receive the red and blue versions that we know it as today. Europe didn't get invited at the party until 1999. There was also a Pokémon Yellow which followed the anime, released later on. Pokémon all started because of one man, Satoshi Tajiri. As a kid he used to collect insects. As he got older he moved on to frogs and other small creatures. His friends started calling him Professor Bug. However, Tokyo started to urbanize. As the skyscrapers went up, the number of creatures went down until they were gone completely.
Satoshi needed a new hobby, and that turned out to be games, and he was really good at it. So good in fact that he started his own game company, Game Freaks.
He wanted to translate his love of creature collecting into his new passion of games, and hence, Pokémon was born. Satoshi started pitching his idea to developers until it eventually caught the attention of Nintendo. Mario creator himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, was the one who suggested that they should have different versions in order to build on the trading aspect of the game. Nintendo also had something called the Western Localization Team, who basically tell them if a Japanese product would work in America or Europe. And they told Nintendo that the Pokémon were too cute and needed to be beefed up for the Western audience. Guys, we're going to need all of you to take this every day for the next 6 months.
Pika pika.
It's vaccination for cancer.
Pika pika pika. Pika pika. Pika. Pika.
Sure, why not?
Pika, Pikachu.
You know, I get the feeling that it'll be a totally different series if that happened.
Listen to me, Ash, we need to get out of here. Team Rocket is coming for you. There's no time. We need to get to the chopper.
The story goes like this. You start off in your hometown, where you choose one of the 3 starting Pokémon from Professor Oak. His grandson then chooses the opposite Pokémon to you and becomes your sworn rival for the entire game. The objective is to progress from town to town to defeat gym leaders who are basically bosses. In return you get badges and new skills, both of which are required to access certain areas and to advance in the main quest. Once you beat the Elite Four, who are the final bosses, and your rival, you've completed the game. You can now go back and try and collect all the Pokémon you missed. The game mechanics are simple. You can walk around and interact with objects and people, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and you can ride a bike because walking is for peasants. The combat system is where you'll spend most of your time, and it's a standard turn-based RPG system. Think Final Fantasy, except it's always one-on-one. You can select your moves and use items or try running away. Pokémon who are defeated will faint, but they'll never die. Satoshi thought there was too much needless violence in the world and he didn't want his game to add to it, which is actually a morally good message to the kids playing. The game's cultural impact was phenomenal. The word success doesn't even begin to cover it. As of 2019, Pokémon Red, Blue and Yellow sold over 31 million copies and holds the record for the best-selling RPG of all time. When it came out, every kid who had a Game Boy was playing it non-stop.
And people that even have Game Boys bought Game Boys just to play it.
Before Pokémon, games were very much a solo ordeal. You were playing your own time, and if you wanted to share the experience with someone, you could, but there was no real need to. Sure, online games existed, but in 1996 they were still using dial-up, and if you don't know what that is, it's like being kicked in the balls, and if you don't have balls, it's like being shot in the face with a cannon. At the time, MMORPGs hadn't really taken off yet, and with dial-up, any online multiplayer experience would be mediocre at best, providing your modem even stayed connected. I know what you're thinking, what the hell's a modem? But Pokémon gave a way for players to interact without the internet. The link cable! With this, you could trade Pokémon, but also battle them as well. This encouraged gamers to play together. In fact, the only way you can catch all 150 Pokémon is if you traded between the red and blue versions, as they each had Pokémon the other version didn't. Game summary time! For most people in the West, this game was a chance to transport themselves into the Pokémon universe and relive the anime. But even if you didn't watch it, Pokémon is a genuinely good RPG. Since it was aimed at younger players, the story wasn't that complex, but it was still effective. The controls were solid, and with more than 150 Pokémon to catch, the game kept you busy for a long time. It's not often that a game comes along that changes the world. This wasn't just a game, it was a global event that started a movement uniting gamers everywhere. And in the world that stands divided, maybe it's just what we need. And if you missed the live stream, here are the best bits.
My name is Oak, all caps. He's shouting, he's like, Oak! Goldie, 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 Goldie. Surely, if he was a rival since I were a baby, wouldn't I know that? First you're telling me something I already know, and you don't even know his name. It perfectly fits. His name is Boston. That's still funny after 20 years.
Thanks for watching, and please leave a comment as it helps us out. Next week's episode is on Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.